Okay. Okay, hopefully this will work. Okay. Welcome everyone to the latest meeting of the SingularityNET-Archive work group meeting. Today is Wednesday the 12th. SingularityNET-Archive contains a history of the activities of the SingularityNET Ambassador Program, and all content is provided under open source Apache 2 license, and contributions will be licensed under a Creative Commons license. We will be posting video recordings of our meetings, and our goal is to provide a collaborative platform to the SingularityNET-Archive community to share knowledge, ideas, and best practices. And we welcome contributions from anyone interested in SingularityNET, whether it's a new project, code example, or documentation. So a little word about our process. We work from the GitHub project board. As you can see, we run through issues. Before we get into the project board, what we do is we review the action and decision items through an app that Andre and Vanessa has developed. So over to Danny to share the action and decision items.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I can actually do that. I'm struggling a little bit with yeah, kind of computer power. I don't think I can open it. So I think we might just have to take it as read that we have action items that will appear on the project board when we get to it. Is that all right?
Hold on, let me just see if I can do that. No, it's not letting me. I've got two-step process. Can you share the screen, Andre?
I can try, just hold a sec.
For the action decision item tool, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Screen. Can you see this?
Yeah, can you zoom in a little bit? Is that okay, Vanessa?
Yeah, it's a little. Can we just pass on it because I think we know what the action items are, and that
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to the board then.
Okay.
So, sorry, over back to you then. Okay, do you want to go to the first item? Okay, so that's the governance skipbook.
yeah, pretty much like where we were at last week. I think we're going to have to say to people that we have been both ill and really busy this week, or at least I have, and there's a little bit that I should have done that I ain't done. So yeah, governance skipbook, I'm working on it. We've agreed what it's going to contain. It is like a portal, and we went through this quite a lot last time, so I'm just plowing through getting it up, basically. So that
Cool.
applies to both of the issues.
Okay, so move on to the next one, which after the Azubio's tool development. I mean, we had some discussion about this, didn't we? I think Andre and Vanny, and we're kind of expecting a review of large language models. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna test the meeting summary data against a couple of large language models for quarter 3.
Right. And that's really where we are with that one. So that's planned really. Okay.
Andre, do we know which ones he's planning to use, or is that still to be determined?
No, I don't know.
Okay, no worries. All right. So I think normally we don't add a comment if there's nothing to add, but I think we just need to remind ourselves to get in touch with UBO.
Yeah, that's useful, isn't it?
All right.
So the next issue is document management and tooling, which is Andre. So do you want to?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the slowness.
So
no, we're all working remotely here on dodgy connections, I think. Yeah. So go for it, Andre.
So this one, I started capturing the documents and the comments. This like I did all the database setup, and so it's like in a test phase now. It's testing if it updates. So I'm just I'm monitoring the documents and see how this thing keeps everything up to date. But for next steps, I'm also gonna create an interface where we manually take snapshots of documents. So when we decide, okay, this is, or if a group does something to a document and we see, okay, this is a good time to take like to make an archival copy, then we can manually take a snapshot, but it also creates its own snapshots in the background as well.
Okay.
But obviously this archival copy is one we will reference to. So that needs to be stable. And that's why it's a manual process. So that's the next thing I'm going to create for this. And there was another thing. Oh, I need to create Discord messages or just notifications if someone deletes a document. So we know about that. That's also another feature I need to add.
So for background of people who don't know what we're referring to here, this is development of an interface with Google Docs in order to provide a resource where we can track in an open source way the content of a Google Doc, and also to some degree it's change management. So Andre's been working with the API on that to extract data. And what we just referring to was kind of trial and error there, wasn't it, Andre and Vanny, that we found that we need to make, we can create automated snapshots of documents, but that can be maybe create too many, and we may need to be able to do an intervention where we make a decision on what is an archival copy. Yeah, so that's why we were doing it that way. So it's great work, but it's a bit, step by step, isn't it? Okay, the next one, LLM development. I should be creating one.
Just before you do the recording is going to be really ropey because I think it's my connection, but everybody's breaking up quite a lot. So I apologize in advance for that.
Okay. I mean, maybe sometimes it comes out not as bad as you think. So, oh dear, I should have created an issue for June in this, but the May one, I mean, the May one really is as it stands. I did do some RAG development work in May. I haven't done anything yet in June because of other work and commitments. So the next time I'll create, I'll close that issue and create one for June, and then progress down there. So the next one is tool development, and that's the general one.
That's
still May. We can close this.
Okay, do you want me to move it to
Oh yeah, just move it
done now, or have you got anything to add?
I've got a June issue. I did make a June issue today, so we can use that one.
All right.
Right,
that's moved to done then.
Yeah. So for
All right.
So if we move to the June issues, that is
Yeah, I'm
it?
not seeing them.
It's probably right down the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
let's see.
Yes.
Oh, you
Yeah,
see it, yeah.
All right.
So I just added a couple of work groups last week, and I also added a new input field for translators. So if there's a person
Okay.
who's translating the meeting summary, there's a new field to add translators.
Right.
But it's this is only for the Latin group. But if there are other groups, I can add that field to them as well.
I don't think any other work group documents in another language than English, so it should be okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, if another one comes up, then it's good that it can
yes,
be.
yeah.
Well, welcome to the part 2 of...
And I'm also planning on creating a new version of the tool, but there's still some planning going on there.
Chair from the foundation side. My name is Lulu.
Working on a presentation or
What is
working on.
going on? Can anybody hear that echo?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, it's odd. Okay, weird. Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll bring maybe, well, next quarter. In next quarter, I'll have something ready to show there in this meeting, so we can look at how the next tool will look.
Okay.
Right, that's cool. Okay, the next issue, I've kind of lost track where we are now.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Where were we?
So there was after LLM development, so I think it's QA DAO, open source AI. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Again, we're still in quarter 3 now, aren't we?
We are.
Right, so what I need to do is close
Well,
that
no,
down.
we're not. Not yet, we're not, but you've got 3 weeks.
I've got 3 weeks. Oh my God, So what I should be doing with this issue is summarizing what I've done today. I've still got 3 weeks to do. I have created, if you scroll up to the top of this issue, Vanessa.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that the Git book? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you click on that, I'm not sure how well your connection might be, but yeah, I'm starting to build out a section there which is going to accommodate the documentation of what I'm developing in terms of the RAG process. That's the retrieval, augmentation, and generation process, which is a workflow that we're going to develop for LLM development. And I've already done some development work on the retrieval and part of the augmentation side. So if we go back to where the issue was, then that's I need to prepare to create a new issue, I suppose, for quarter 3. And then but in here I need to summarize what I've done to date, and also do any more. So what I'm going to do actually is just put more put more of the content of the development I've done into the Git book. And that will then close this issue, and I'll reopen another issue for quarter 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The next one is our open source paradigm. This is in a backlog, effectively. It's a presentation which I haven't completed, so I haven't had. So
All right, so we've nothing to update.
Nothing to update on that. I need to do that.
Yep.
We just had Andre doing the tool development, so
yeah, I don't understand why that's there. Okay,
it's because we jumped, I think, and then so if we move on to where are we? Yeah, the archives outreach. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing new to report. Yeah, we're doing what we're doing for the supervisory council, and I'm just plowing through it, and should be done in a couple of days. So yeah, we've been talking a little bit and thinking a little bit about where archives might want to outreach to in quarter 3, but it depends whether what we think is something that is interesting to people or not. Yeah.
Okay. On the so I'll move on to the next issue, the GitHub
Yeah.
board video. This again is I can't remember the status. This is a one-off issue.
Yeah, I think it was it Duke?
It is Duke, yeah.
Oh no. No, this is yours. This is
No, it's Duke.
No, it's
it's
Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke, are you here? Is he here?
No.
I mean, it's been on the board a while. It's I can't remember why it's
know.
I can't why it's still open now.
Just because, I mean, I think it's done, but he hasn't shared it yet. And I think it's the same reason that all of us, you know,
Right.
it's a combination of exhaustion and busyness with other
Right.
time sensitive things. So yeah, I think we just need to give him a little
So
nudge.
that's fine. I mean, we don't always have anything to say on a particular issue, so it's more of a status update, isn't it? So the next one is the Archive Gitbook Backlog Part 2. Part 2, it sounds like a sequel to a major film. Yeah. Part 2. Anyway,
we were talking about distributing this amongst people who were interested.
Yeah. Again, because what I was finding again, it was like I basically was doing a lot of us are doing, to find out what other people can do in the community, and I mean, this was just too much work for us to take on. Basically, it's going back through the historic YouTube videos and archiving them, essentially, isn't it? And putting them using the archive tool.
Yeah.
And I think what we were just kind of decided that maybe we should start thinking about turning this into a kind of a bounty task. And then I think we had some volunteers, did we?
We did, yeah. Well, there's a list there of people. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 people. Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to take 7 people, but I don't know if everybody is still interested. I remember last time I said I would look at the Q2 budget, and because we have accidentally omitted to put in the total that we had in Q2, so we need to just have a look at that when we've gone through the board. Before we finish the meeting, I'll have a quick look at that, and we can enter the number and
right, it's not budget.
how much we've actually got to play with. Because I don't know if people might feel that it's not worth it to them if we've only got like 100 or whatever it is, and it's divided between 7 people. So
I suppose it gives people an opportunity to, hopefully, to get engaged with the process, the archiving process.
Yeah, definitely.
But I suppose what we would also need to give some guidance, either for a workshop or a presentation or something. Presumably.
I don't think so, because honestly, I think most of the people listed there are already reasonably competent with the meeting summary tool, and it's just a matter of us telling them where the recordings are if they can't find them.
Okay. Which are,
they're already time-stamped and everything. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it is that. Then we should just find out what budget we have, as you say, and then just run with it.
Those who are here, who are on this list, are you still interested? I mean,
say yes.
Not... Gorga, are you
Hi,
still?
Bonnie.
Clement's interested, and
yeah,
or put in chat as well if you don't have a
Yes, I'm still interested.
Sorry, who's that speaking? I can't tell.
Bonita.
Nice. Okay. So I'm not sure about Jenny then because she's not here, but
right.
Let's just put her in brackets and I can message her. Gorga's a yes, Oniza's a yes, Aya's not here, Clement's a yes, Photogy's not here. Onyika, you still there?
Nwobi or?
Yes, he is. All right, lovely.
Okay.
Okay, so I will do that and that just to say that we're not sure because they're not here. All right, and
was that my oversight not putting the budget in? Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll try and do it while we're talking, and I'll try. And look. But yeah,
good.
all right. We'll
Cool.
come back to it in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Tag taxonomy project.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, where we're up to, people have done sterling work and we are kind of finished in the spreadsheet. Let me open that. And yeah, everyone's done. I am going through the last bits of checking people's work. And what I'm checking for is just things like, is it comma separated rather than like just spaces or whatever? Some things are a bit long to be a tag, so I'm kind of tightening them up a little bit and maybe breaking them up. If somebody has tagged something with the topic of discussing whether the ambassador program should be blah blah blah, I'm kind of breaking it up into ambassador program. But you get me. I'm
Yeah.
nearly done with that. And what we need to do next is what I'm doing is I'm pulling out, actually, let me open it again so I can show you what I mean. I'm pulling out literally all the tags that people have given. Like say, for example, oh goodness, everything's so slow. There we go. Like say, for example, we've got training, tutorial, education, video editing, learning, SNet ambassador, blah, blah, blah. I'm pulling them all out and we will then be looking at how far we can derive a controlled vocabulary from them. There are things that are similar. So what we're going to do is just give the list to everybody in the project and they go through and try and group them. I expect some people will try using AI to do that and see if it gives us any better insights. I might do it manually just to see, and we'll try to get, we'll get things that are like training, learning, education. How similar are they? And would it just that called them all education? Differences that are significant enough that they have to be separate? Or if there's so many separate, do we just need to keep letting people tag kind of whatever they want? So that's where we're at with behind.
That's a really useful exercise, actually, because it creates a kind of consensus, doesn't it? Like a kind of community consensus of the vocabulary. Yeah.
I mean, I did contact Vasu and Duke, and they both too overcommitted to continue. So Onise and Jen came on and did amazing to like catch up and kind of do everything in like a few days. So that was amazing. Yeah, so we did agree that we would budget to Q3 for this to cover the fact that we've got new people coming in who've had to spending and
Right.
they should get the same as everybody else. So, and we also said that would extend, we estimated it would cost 4 hours and we said, right, we're going to do 5 hours because it's taken some people longer. So when we get to the budget, you'll see that little bit of extra in there. So yeah, I don't know if anybody in the project like Onise or Onika or anybody would like to say anything about it.
Any thoughts at all, anyone?
Hi, Vanny. Hi, everyone.
Hi there.
Yeah. I think the project, yeah, like going through it, I noticed on my own side, I noticed that I wasn't able to. I think there were just two documents I wasn't able to access, to like go through. So I pretty much just put the link there, but I have no idea what this. I don't know, maybe it's not my responsibility, but I just thought to let that out. Then, um, yeah, about the tag taxonomy project. Then also like some of the summaries felt repeated. I would say they felt. I feel like they were repeated. And yeah, that's especially from some specific work groups. I can't remember right now. If I check, I'll remember. Um, initially I was just putting all the tags there, the ones on the gitbook, I was just putting it there until much later after Vanny drew my attention to it, and I was now like looking at it and realizing that some of them were repeated, some of them were supposed to be there, you know, and spending time editing and all of that. So yeah, I think those are like the only. So I think the only questions I would have is is there like going to be a way to probably reward people for better meeting summaries? I don't know, or not.
Sorry, is there going to be a way to reward people for what? Say again. Didn't catch
For
that
like
last bit.
for better meeting summaries. I think Vanny had said
No, we do.
something. Yeah, sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
we do have that project. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I
Okay, are
think what
we?
it's worth. Yeah, so thanks for that update. And yeah, I think where this is going to lead on to is go on, Yika.
Nico's?
Can you guys hear me?
Speak. Oh, there
Yeah,
we
I can
go.
hear
We
you
can
now.
hear you.
Yeah.
All right. So, based on this that taxonomy project, although it's been long, I finished, but I had a little bit of blockers. Aside some meeting summaries weren't actually there; they were just video link. The other blocker I experienced was some decision items like
Hmm.
they weren't actually documented well. So it's a bit tricky to know if this is actually a decision or a suggestion. I don't
Yeah.
know if you understand what I mean, because I guess right previously we didn't have this summary template, which
Mhm.
actually helps to highlight what a decision is and what a suggestion is. So yes, that was a bit of an issue. Sorry for the
Yeah.
background noise.
Yeah, I think that is a very valid point that, in the pre-meeting summary tool era, if you like, people didn't have to identify decisions clearly as such. So they may not have done. And part of what this team has been doing really well is trying to read the old meeting summaries and go, oh, look, that's a decision and it's not
Mm.
marked as one. So yeah, from what I've seen of how you've approached it on Yuki, you've done it really well. I think there's one other one that I haven't fully looked at yet, but it seems like everybody is doing it really successfully. So obviously the point of this is that when we start using AI tooling to sort of search the corpus, people might be asking things like, when did we make a decision about such and such?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if it's tagged as a decision, then people can find it. So yeah, I suppose in the end, what it does is it makes our archive focused on decisions and action items, which is something we've talked about quite a few times as something we do want to be the focus. But in the long term, long term, I'm not ruling out the idea that we might look at the kind of questions people are asking and go, do you know what? There's other things we need to tag that we haven't tagged, and we might
Yeah.
have to do it all over again. But I really hope not. But
I mean,
yeah,
that subject.
it is
That
interesting that it gives that emphasis to the corpus. It's like traditional archives have their own emphases. You catalog certain things in, and you don't catalog other things. Say like the catalog for an art museum is going to catalog when something was made and who by, but it might not tag what cultural background that person was from. So there are often tagging projects to go and add that. So yeah, it's all about what data we want to emphasize. I can see something in the chat. I guess those questions can be added to general. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Stephen, I talked over you there.
Yeah, you did. What I was going to basically say, that's what is interesting. What is interesting is how decisions and actions can emerge from unstructured data, really. I suppose. So, you know, and we've kind of like wrestled with this over the, you know, with all meeting summaries, like where we actually got, you know, the work that we resulted in the work of like how to formalize an action and a decision, you know. So I think this is quite, and also from an AI perspective, it's going to be quite interesting because it's going to probably test the limits of inference. Like, when should you infer that something is an action? When should you infer that something is a decision? You know, so it's not. And I know people may tag it as a decision, but then the question is that as then just someone's opinion that is a decision, if you like, or it requires further attention, or should you just take it as a decision or an action item? Anyway, do you want to go on to the next issue?
I was just going to say on this one that I'm nearly done with the kind of checking and finalizing. So when that's done, probably by the weekend, we can close this and send it for payment. And Andre, do I need to sort of list who is being paid? Sort of at the bottom of this, or how are we going to work it?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, I shall do that. And just for Jen and Onise, I think your payment is going to have to come out of Q3. So I'm making an assumption because we've okayed it that is going to be in the Q3 budget. So Andre, could we process payments, including some from our float, so that
Yes.
Onise and Jen don't have to wait?
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
need to?
we can do that.
Nice.
It is,
Do we need?
yeah, I wonder, maybe create a separate issue for them if,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I shall do that. All right.
Do you need
Yeah,
to
so
create a
that's
note?
just a
Do
little
you need to
update on
create a
payment.
note there? You can make a
Um,
note of that in the comment there, or
I can do, or I've actually noted it in the meeting summary tool. But yeah, all right, let me do that in here as well.
okay. I mean, just in case, I just would just like to capture the you know, the list of people who need to be paid, that kind of thing, and just so it doesn't get lost. That's all, I suppose. But if you've got it in somewhere else, that's fine. And also what you said about the next quarter, maybe. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think I'm going to get this. I will get it done in time for, I mean, payments are done on Tuesdays, aren't they still? So
this we can do it anytime because it's not linked with the Tuesday payments. So
okay.
whenever, yeah.
I think honestly, it's probably going to take me till Tuesday to finish off just tidying things. So yeah,
Okay.
I will do that as soon as possible.
okay.
All right, so I hope that's all right with everybody in terms of payment. All right, so our next issue is this one.
Again, this is
that's you, Oscar.
it's been around a while. Is it complete now, or no? Can't read that. Sorry. Aim is the second week of June to complete. So, which is we're just coming to the end of the second week.
Well, it says assess on meeting of 12th of June, which is today.
Yeah. So, have we an explainer video for the meeting summary tool, or has there been any work on it?
Anika, this one's yours, I think.
Or if you can put in, if you can't give an update over audio.
Oh, here we go. There's something in the chat. Dun, dun, dun. Oh. Right. Yeah, it's just people complaining about their laggy internet connection. So possibly, oh, you can hear us. Excellent.
Alright, sorry for that. For the video, I will get it to you guys immediately after the meeting. the issue with the video was that I exported the file without subtitles, so I wanted to add that. So, done.
Oh, I can't
I'll
really
drop
hear
it
you.
in the
Yeah,
I don't
I can't. You're breaking up.
think
Can you just
okay.
give an update in chat, and we can
Or
then.
even better, directly in
Yeah,
the
if you could add
issue.
a
That would be
comment.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I
Okay,
heard is that it's not done yet and it soon will be. So that's cool.
I will drop my comments in the GitHub. I think that's
Yeah,
Excellent.
better.
that'd be great. That'd be great if you could do that. Maybe if you can copy a link to the issue in, yeah, and then paste that in chat. So
You've actually gone super clear though, actually, Onyeka, if you did want to say anything.
if not, move on. So the next one is the God, I can't read it on the screen. Town hall
Oh,
session
sorry.
on. That's me. I got a small screen here. Yeah, town hall session on Ubio. Sorry, Ubio's tool.
I created a document for SA and Ecomini to work on. There is some content in the document. I'm just waiting for last confirmation on the next steps that Ubio is going to work on. But
Right.
so I've got what is done already.
Yeah.
All that is in the document, but the next steps I still need to add. The next steps, it's just going to be a small section of it's probably is just going to test those different LLM models on the data.
Let's thinking about it. Do you think this should be documented in a subsection of the Git book? Putting it out there, Andre or Benny.
Sort of feel like maybe we should think about that later.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
it should, but I don't,
Uh,
yeah, maybe it should, but I think it folds into, I don't think it should be separated out as Ubio's work because I think it all folds in to the
Right.
overall on
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm keep an eye on it, and it might be referenced in the appropriate place. Okay. Right.
yeah, if we can try and pull it together, especially maybe by the end of Q3 when a lot of it is going to be finished and we could have a section. Yeah, but that's just my thoughts. Yeah, so Essay and Ecomini, I don't think either are here today, or Essay, are you here? Just
Did I
looking.
see Essie earlier?
No,
I'm not sure.
no, she's
Nope.
not here. Okay. All right, so maybe I should DM both. I mean, I DM'd Essie a few days ago with this just to sort of remind her. And yeah, I could just bob a message to both of them and just encourage them to get together and set a date. There's not that many town halls now before the end of the quarter, so I think it may well go over because obviously the 25th is work group updates. But actually, I don't know, it depends how long what they make is, but they could, if it's a 4-minute thing, they could present it as our work group update on the 25th. I'll see. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the posting the updates. I saw someone
That's
saying
all
in
right.
chat. And Nika. I mean, so posted it. And
Good.
okay. What's Peter saying? Yeah, we'll have to decide what the the format of the session and how that fits in with the town hall.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're only envisaging something short, and it's to just inform the community of what's going on, really.
Yeah.
So I will
We
get in
like
touch.
we like short presentations.
We love short presentations.
We love short presentations. The next one is, where are we? But I can't see.
I can see
Eyes.
Peter going, it sounds good, but please don't make that turn into a 15-minute one.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. It won't.
All right.
We know from experience that when it starts going over 5 minutes, people start to lose interest or attention. So you know, I think it's, you know, we'll probably think in terms of minutes and then a short discussion. I'm not sure. I don't want to be too prescriptive about what's intended. So the next issue is prizes for good meeting summaries. I think this was referred to, wasn't it? No.
No, it's not actually. The next issue is town hall session on tag
Oh,
taxonomy.
sorry, I missed one because my screen's so small. Okay.
So
Okay,
who
yes,
is down for this? All right. So I invited Photo-G to the tag taxonomy Discord so he can work on it, but then he's got a few other things on, and he was just kind of like, yeah, I think I've overcommitted myself, so he's out. So it's basically now Essie, Onyeka, and Ekamini. So Onyeka, has there
Right.
been discussion or any interaction on this?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear
Yeah.
you, yeah.
Right. So for now, there have not been any discussion, but we could set that for you. I'll do that. I'll create or we already have one. So I'll just contact Esther and Onisi to discuss, make a discussion.
Nice one.
Sorry, sorry.
Huh?
So discussions are planned. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's nothing really to update except that Photo-G.
Cool.
Oh gosh, I can't even type.
Sorry, is anybody can anybody take Photo-G's
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Can you hear me? I was asking if, because I'd love to be a part of this, since Photo-G dropped out, if there's a free.
I mean, I think that's up to the people who are already
Okay.
in it, really, because obviously we originally said there would be 3 people, and we've got a budget of $50 each.
Okay.
So if they don't mind sharing, then yeah, but it's not our decision, really.
Oh, okay. It's fine. Since there's already 3 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be discussed maybe in the tag taxonomy group itself, and you're in there. So I would say, yeah, have a chat and work it out. Because we don't know if Essay and Ekamini are still up for it either. So yeah, let's sort it out.
Cool. Okay, the next issue is prizes for good meeting summaries, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. So there were supposed to be 2. Is there any news?
Yes, I never paid Devo. I completely forgot about this.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh gosh, that's not what I
Sorry
meant.
about that. We can organize payment. I'll organize that payment.
So that's to do then in the comment to organise the payment to TiVo. And is it like a round? Are we just going to keep doing this, or?
Well, we're going to do until the end of June. Yeah, there was 2 this week,
right.
and 2 in the final meeting of the quarter.
Right.
So yeah, Onyeka, you're part of the team on this, I think. Is there news, and have you met and selected somebody?
Can you guys hear me?
You can hear you, yeah.
All right. So we haven't had discussion for last week and this week. We actually scheduled for yesterday, but some things actually came up. Before the end of the week, we'll get the names for the winners for last week and this week. So that's the update on that.
So by the end of this week, you'll have some candidates for who may be a winner. Is that what I heard?
No, not the candidates, the actual winners.
All right.
So by the end of the week, yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
if you can do what you did last time and like update it in here to say who won, and
Yeah.
then if you want to post about it, that's brilliant. Or if you want to send me the text about like um who won and why, I'm happy to post it. The only reason that I'm offering is because we stupidly forgot to include any budget for people publicizing it. So yeah, I'm happy to help if needed. But
Right.
if you're happy to post, then that's brilliant. Do that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can.
No worries. I can do that.
Cool. Thank
Okay,
you, Vanessa.
brilliant, brilliant,
All
brilliant.
right.
What I can do actually is once we finish this meeting, I can put the text of what I posted, about TiVo winning in
Okay.
this issue, so you can copy it if you want. But yeah, I will
Good.
do that.
Okay. Thanks everyone for that. The next one is publicity for Q2. This is social media interaction. Is that right?
There's something in the chat. All right. Okay.
Oh, it's me again.
Yeah.
It is.
The usual suspect. Yeah. No.
My
So
bad. I haven't done this. I will like, but I'll get it done this weekend.
this
All
weekend.
right, no
So
worries.
it's to be done this week. It's maybe in notes or something. Or
I don't know. I mean, we don't
oh,
normally
it's
put
just
an
no
update
states.
thing as
Yeah, that's right.
pending. So yeah.
Okay.
Um,
The next one is the gosh, I can't see.
it's correction and maintenance of the monthly archive records, which yeah, I'm ploughing through. I know it's still a Q1 issue because that's where it is funded, but it's been that there's quite a lot of overlap between this and the tag taxonomy project, and I just don't want to do the work twice. And I
Right.
haven't wanted to start adding tags and adding decisions and action items and then finding that somebody else has. So it's just better for me to look at it all as a piece, if you
Right, but
like.
it's budgeted for then and everything, is it? Or
It's budgeted in Q1, and I have done quite a lot of work on it already, but it's going
yeah,
to be reposting it in the format that it needs to be, because I don't know if people have noticed, but the post summary tool summaries look kind of different. I don't know if do we want to, I think everyone
yeah. Go
knows.
on. Yeah, go. Right. Do you want
You
to
want me to?
demonstrate that? Yeah, or if you've
All
got.
right, let me just all right, so if we look at the archive,
Right.
and if we look at 2023,
Right.
even when we were quite sort of organized and together, a meeting summary used to look kind of like this. And, it was variable. Some people said locations, some people didn't, or whatever. There would be quite a long narrative sometimes. Sometimes we'd identify an action item or not. And obviously, this is the work that the tag taxonomy team have been doing, is identifying some of the things that are missing. And we will
Right.
have things to add on that. But if you look at what a current meeting summary looks like, let's pick a random one in March. They look a little
Right.
different. And so
Yeah.
everything's like clearly, actually Ambassador Town Hall is not the best version, but let's look at, yeah, so you can see the working docs are clearly marked and linked. It conforms to that work group's template. You can see, we've got the
Right.
rationale of the decision and the effect of the decision, and it's all tidy. So we're going to be making the old archive conform to this.
Which means more work. And
Well, no, I mean it's definitely, it's work that I've been
no, I don't.
plowing
No.
through, but it's just I don't want to upload it until we've
Yeah.
got. So I'm just going to be cutting and pasting from a doc, honestly.
Okay.
It's a
Blimey.
massive doc. But yeah. All right. So
The
um
budget, we have an historic issue then for the budget.
yeah,
Is
and
I can't
that's why
remember.
that's open. Just
Right.
because there
Okay.
are still things that are funded in Q1 that need to be finished. So
Right.
yeah,
So when that's closed, that'll close that one as well. So that's why.
it will.
Okay. And then we're on to I can't see now. We're into the archive Git book issues, which are issues which cover the activity of each month. The last one open is March. Is there anything
Yeah,
we
now
need?
March, I still haven't added ambassador town halls because there was an issue where I couldn't find them, and I think I asked Slate about it, and he was like, yeah, they're there, they're just not been added to the right playlist. And I just haven't had a chance to upload them yet. So there's like literally 2 things to do, and I'm also waiting for a R&D guild, which Guillermo says he's got. So I don't know if he has or not. If it's not there by the end of the week, I'm just going to close it. And as no summary given, it's not a disaster.
But let's just dwell on
Um,
how great work though. All that recording of information in March. I mean, yeah, we've got a couple of things to do, but I just want to highlight, how
well,
good
this is
that work
S's
is.
work. This is
S's work.
S's, like making the
Sorry,
list.
S's work. Yeah, and yeah, it's really impressive, I think. Really. And next one is April.
Yeah, so there's a few here that I know are already up, so I just need to tick them off basically. And obviously S is giving me the list to work from, and I just need to add them. Sorry, I need to tick them off that they've been added. And the same is true of May. We've got a complete list. I know I've got a few to upload from May, but I just need to tick them off when they're done, which I will do in a couple of days, I think, and then that's done.
Okay, that's great. And then June will be, we're not into June yet, are we? So
Well, June's in the backlog. I need to move
the
it.
backlog, yeah. The quarterly report for Q2. Why is this still open?
Oh God, because I drafted. Oh God, I've got a draft. Can we come back to that?
Yeah, sure.
'Cause I would like to run it past people, but yeah, it's very much in draft state at the moment.
And then we have a Q2 correction. Did we go over that before, or Q8?
Yeah, it's same as the Q1 version. It's just we split it up into 2 because.
And we have a holding issue for the work group budget. Is there anything to discuss on the budget at all?
Yeah, this is the main thing we need to talk about in this meeting.
Okay. Well, how do you want to do it? Do you want to talk about that now?
I mean, let me just see what else have we got. I mean, guidelines on how to make a document community owned. I don't feel that's a priority at the moment. I feel like we could come back to that next meeting. I've got a draft. I just need to put it in there. Chasing up missing meeting summaries. Essay has been doing a sterling task, but obviously she's a bit behind because I haven't ticked off the ones that I've added. AI ethics policy. I don't know if anybody's been adding stuff. But there's a draft document here, and
yeah. So maybe to highlight this, that although it's been hidden away, there is a kind of the germ of a document here. This is very generic. People have been putting comments in. So again, it's at the ideation stage, put it that way. So if you want to jump in there, anyone, and make it any constructive comments, then go for it.
But also it's worth saying that this is something that we are seeing being something we look at in the budget in Q3. We want to sort of give some funding to people to actually work on this document and get it up to scratch.
Right.
So yeah.
And the other one is the budget for Q3. That's presumably the planning issue and the updates to the Ambassador Git book. Do we need to? Is there anything on? I mean, I suppose there wasn't any supervisory council stuff in the Ambassador Git book, was there?
No. This is Sucra's task to keep the Ambassador Git book kind of tidy.
Oh yeah.
I don't hear, but I know she's kind of done. Yeah, and I gave her that link, and I think it's up now for the archives last quarterly report. But yeah, I think I'm suggesting in the budget for Q3 that we add it again. And when people send in their Q3 budgets, she'll be doing another update and kind of keeping that up to scratch.
Yeah, because that's really useful.
Sorry, I was mistaken when I said that.
Yeah, sorry, you cut it. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I was
So,
mistaken when I said that this one was the one we need to focus on. It's actually this one, obviously.
all right, Q3. Okay, right. Well, so the updates to the Ambassador book, that's a useful task. So we've covered the bulk of everything. So now we will need to go to the main discussion, as you pointed out, Vanessa. Is it the budget for Q3?
Yeah. Oh, I should probably just say I'll check with Sucre if I mean I know that update was done, but I think this could then be closed and go
Right.
to payment. So I'll
Cool.
make sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we've got a super rough draft, and we said in the last meeting that people who've got ideas for what we should add to the budget should add them in this issue, and we've had none. So
All right.
I think we can just go, no, either everyone's been super busy and they haven't had a chance, or people haven't really got any ideas. And
Have we passed the
so I
deadline then
forgot
for
to
that
add
now?
an issue about Indigenous AI in the document. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool actually, Jen. But I thought you mentioned that in the context of the AI ethics global initiative rather than in here. I mean, yeah, do both if you have time and energy. It'd be great. But yeah, don't feel like it has to go in this one because this is very specific towards the archives and how the archives uses AI. So I remember you mentioning like Indigenous communities and AI in the context of the AI Global Initiative. So maybe that was the doc you were thinking of. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there is a kind of more general discussion of AI ethics going on in the ecosystem, isn't there?
Yeah.
So what we're referring to there is something, as you say, more specific to what we're doing. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. Right, back to the budget then. How do we want to look at this, Benny?
I mean, the deadline for final budgets is the 19th. So we've got
Right,
a little while, but we don't meet before it needs to go in. So
right.
any changes are going to have to be async. Strategic focus for Q3. We always put this in just to try and clarify what our strategic emphasis is. I'm feeling that, oh yeah, can somebody drop oh no, it's in the issue. Can somebody drop the link in the chat so people can come in? Yeah, I'm feeling that initially we thought engaging the community with the rag retrieval process was going to be, yes, that's going to be our focus. But looking at it, it's going to take a bit of work before we're even ready and able to do that. So maybe that's not a focus. It feels an awful lot to me looking at it that this quarter is going to be about tidying up. There's a lot of like looking at the things that we started and kind of wrapping them up and moving them on. So I don't know. I think we need to have a think about what we want to say about our strategy. And if somebody has a thought on that when we've gone through it, that would be great. What we tend to do with our budgets is split it up into regular tasks and one-off tasks or kind of projecty type things. So I'm just looking in the chat. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, so the regular tasks, there's the project management, which comprises all the stuff that Stephen does to keep us on track, agenda prep, managing GitHub issues, meeting documentation, project management, blah, 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 financial planning, submitting funding requests, blah, blah, blah. So that's there. The actual archive, the sort of ticking off what's been submitted and chasing meeting summaries, we're keeping the same as last quarter. Andre's tool development stays the same because that's an ongoing steady thing and it's going to be, as it has been, mainly focused on maintaining the meeting summary tool and fixing issues and kind of managing Ubio's input as well and scoping some stuff
Yeah.
around just we've got Ubio here. I've marked it just because like we said, we still haven't had that conversation with him about exactly what he wants to be doing in Q3, but we know it's connected with searchability and it's going to be focused on Python and it's going to be looking at using different open source models and kind of looking at querying the archive using different models. So we just probably need to have a quick chat with him and clarify that. Stephen's
You're-
development issue.
on that one, and in relation to the strategic section, I mean, from experience, it feels like Q2 will still be building the RAG, not engaging the community so much. So maybe it needs to be more where it
I
says
said that at the start.
Well, it didn't come across clearly, sorry, to me. So if you scroll up, it says
I know it does, but I actually said at the start that we're not going to be able to take the community engagement stuff this quarter.
So what I'm saying is, if we could stop clicking over for me for a second. Well, if we change that to developing and building. Okay, thank you.
Right. And then we've got obviously the Treasury commitments, and that needed to go up a little because it was radically undercosted last quarter. So right. So when it comes to one-off tasks, we put 500 in here for ideas from members, and I'm going to take that first and just go, is there anyone here who had an idea and just forgot to add it?
Or if you want to put any ideas in chat.
Yeah, I do have something which might do well with at least.
Oh yeah. Go for it.
It's not quite formalized yet. It's something I wanted to bring up during this call, but it might be nice to include it as something that has at least a non-zero amount next to it. Basically, it's for there's a community site, a website in development, which for quite some things is also feeding on the archive. So yeah, a bit of how to say composition
liaison
on that could be good.
So like liaison with is
Yes.
that a team? Is there already a team working on that, Peter?
Well, it's within the foundation. There's web developers working on it.
Right.
But yeah, I do feel some interaction or some alignment with archives, seeing that quite some stuff is just grabbed from the Gitbook.
Right.
Would be a good thing.
So that's for the community across SNet rather than just the ambassadors, isn't it? That's like a whole thing.
Well, no, I'm personally at least. There's also a deep funding section, but there's also an ambassador section. So I put this one specifically would focus on the ambassador portion of that.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure how we can frame that. Is it I mean, presumably we can start with just outreach and liaison, and do you imagine something a bit more proactive, Peter?
I think just a couple of short interactions with the web devs on making sure they're grabbing the right stuff from the right place, basically.
Right. Okay. So for want of a better word, source of truth liaison, I suppose, where things are. And I mean, is that the kind of thing we would want to do with the project team, Vanessa or Andre? Or is it something we could open up?
I mean, it feels like it could be a bit of both. I mean, maybe we could have a couple of people, somebody who knows the archive well and somebody who wants to learn and would be able to hop on.
So maybe a little work group or something, or a work group task, which liaises with the, as Peter says, the development team on maybe a couple of, or either on a regular basis if that's necessary, or if not, just on a couple of one-off meetings, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a couple of one-offs. So a couple
of.
Right. Yeah, maybe on a once a half year sync kind of level afterwards. Something like
that. Okay, so 2 initial meetings. We'll have to work out the time in a quarter, let's say. and then maybe to be decided regular meetings after that, as you say, Peter, maybe every quarter, or
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So if we
depending on.
said,
I could give a screen share of the current way it looks. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
any
if I stop screen sharing.
Thank you for waiting to raise this as well, by the way. It's helpful to put it in the right context.
Yeah, let me grab the correct screen. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Tons of tabs. This one should be it.
All right. Gosh.
Loading.
Oh, it's Sigma, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Figma. So this is the basic landing page.
Right.
This would be a portion of the website. So basically, this is uses the same layout, but done for deep funding.
Right.
Which is slow to load. So this is the deep funding landing page, and we basically it's got some stuff about circles, which in our case is work groups, events, which in our case is events as well, and resources is just like the deep funding documentation, let's say.
Right.
Then the ambassador one, yeah, this would be the landing page, just some upcoming events on all the community calls we're having.
Right.
A bit of welcoming and steps to join, and that's pretty much it. So it's relatively straightforward. People could go to the work groups page for more details on all the work. And there's an archives one, which is did it go there? I
Maybe it's not
double
been
click
built.
to
Yeah, maybe double click on it. All right, it's a category. Okay.
At the bottom, just a second. It's archive. So right now there's two questions. First of all, I was asked, like, do you like this black background or this white background?
Right.
Arbitrary, but figured might as well throw it in the group.
I mean, my main thing would be that the way we are presented and our values are reflected. That's what I would say. Formatting, I wouldn't. I mean, my own opinion, I would leave that to the web team. So, because I mean, from what I imagine, that's more about consistency across the website. So, I don't know what you think, Vanny or Andre. Everything else would be like, what do we want to say about ourselves? Is that right, or am I got that wrong? Do you think?
Well, this is just a blurb taken from the GitHub.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe again that could be like the liaison. Yeah. So that's it.
Clarity. This is not the explanation page of the work group so much.
Yeah.
It's
the archive. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wood archive work group, which has a bit more, a bit more of an outline.
Okay. Okay. So, but again, the logic of that will be up to the web team, presumably. Where things go.
They ask how I want it, and I'm not a web developer.
yeah. It's more. Yeah. I mean, exactly. So I suppose it's they will need to come to a decision themselves about what level things are at, what points fit, what things point to things, that kind of thing.
Yes, but
I mean,
I'd have to say it wants a little proofread for all those rogue capital letters, but I'm just not clear. Is this actually going to be displaying the whole archive, or is it selected material, or?
It just takes the feed basically, so it's displaying everything.
Okay, cool.
This is just the archive.
It uses the Git book as the source.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't all the time, of course. So I guess I'll just stop sharing. But I want to bring. I think for syncing on this would be good to reserve, like you noted down already.
Yeah. I mean, my immediate thoughts are about is the context. I suppose that's where I kind of it's kind of what my interest is. So that it communicates that we are open source, Creative Commons, all that kind of thing. But but just to kind of make sure that is consistently applied where community IP materials are referenced. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what other people think about that. Yeah. But Vanessa, what do you think? Do you think there's any other issues we need to look at there?
A little. I mean, I think propagating the material in as many places as we can is good, but it'd be nice to link back to the actual Git book as well, if they could do that.
Yeah. And again, that may be something we can bring up in the liaison task that Peter suggested. Andre, what do you...
At the same time, also very much open to keep things practical. Like if you tell me this now, I will tell them like, well,
right. Yeah, I mean, again, well, maybe we can create a task, because then if we create a task for this on the board, then we can have a place to communicate with the web team on it, you know, so where we could put comments and suggestions and things like that, maybe, Peter. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, if we come back to the budget issue, yeah, if we budget for it in Q3, then yeah, it would be good to have an issue on the board and to do that.
Okay.
Do people feel like it's something that we should work on in Q3, that we should have a bit of budget towards? Is there anybody who feels strongly, God, no, you shouldn't be doing that?
I mean, it offers some engagement opportunities here. So again, we don't have to decide this right now, but it would be, let's leave it open then. So we say, Benny, that there is an opportunity. Let's say that some of the core project team, like you, me, or Andre, works on some of the tasks, and then some of the task is more open to community members.
I mean,
and
when
then
you say we don't have to decide now, we kind of do, because the budget's being.
No, I was going to go on. I was going to go on to say the details of who gets what. That's what I mean. But the actual, the total, yes. How much should the total be, roughly?
It's only a couple of meetings and then a little bit of background work.
400 for the whole quarter. I'll put that out there.
Yeah, I was going to say 350, but 400 is probably safer, because these things do tend to creep, and because it'd be really nice to have a couple of people who are not the core team jumping in on this, because it's a good way to learn a bit more about what the archive's up to. So yeah.
For the whole quarter, I repeat that, not per month. That's for 3 months. So yep. Is that well, presumably it's going to go in with the other budget submissions, and then it will go through that whole process. And as you say, Vanny, part of that will be to incentivize participation from the community, but we need to figure out how that's going to work. And then the other part of it will be the project team, basically us liaising with the web team, Peter.
It's not going to be a height requirement to have a ton of meetings for this. Like, it can also be a Mattermost channel where just some basic questions are getting bounced back and forth.
Cool. Yeah, whatever we're open to. We'll create an issue and put it as a budget line, so that creates a place to a point of reference, if you like, for, and then also it's going to create a budget line as well, Vanny.
Right, so what we earmarked for ideas from members was 500. I think this will come in under, a little bit under that. Has anyone else got a small idea that they would like to see added to the budget?
Yeah.
Right, something in chat, wait up. Can you share if there is already a Mattermost channel for the archive? No, there's not. We don't really work in Mattermost.
Yeah, we tend to work only using open source tools. I know that's maybe a bit pedantic sometimes, but there's a reason for that.
Okay, so any other thoughts? I mean, we've got until the 19th to get this budget in. So if anybody suddenly goes, oh, light bulb moment, you can come and add something. As long as it doesn't go over like a few hundred, then yeah. But I just want to whip through the other things that we've got in here, if that's all right, Stephen.
No, absolutely. I was just going to say how if people want to put any last minute ideas, could they do that in our Discord channel, Danny? And
Oh, they could. I mean, it'd be easier to do it in the issue, in the budget issue,
right,
and then, or even do it straight into this spreadsheet. I think access is open, is it?
yeah. So the budget issue has been pasted in chat.
Yeah,
So
actually,
so
all
if
right.
you go to that budget issue and you have if you have a GitHub account, which everyone here should have a GitHub account, you can put a comment under the issue, and then in that comment you can say what you would like, your idea, if you like. Yeah, that'd be the best way to put ideas forward. And we have
Yeah,
until
place since like two meetings ago. So, but nobody
yeah,
has.
and we have until you have still about 4 days or so. Is that right?
No, like we said before, it's the 19th, so it's a week.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking on the temperature, not the date. Yeah, so now
Well,
you
it's
know how warm it is here.
well, where I am, it's only one out. It's 13 degrees and it's the 12th. So
It's only 15 degrees here. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that confusion. I wasn't looking at the date. Yeah, so it's more like just under a week.
yeah. So yeah, if anybody's got any thoughts, put it wherever is easiest for you. Put it in the actual GitHub issue or put it in Discord, and we'll catch up. But yeah, it's got to be something reasonably small. So yeah, shall we go through the rest of what we've got in
Yeah.
here and see
Yeah.
if people agree and if they have any questions or changes that they'd like to make? I think this one's got to be in there. This is the additional budget that we've already agreed for the tag taxonomy project because we had new people, Jen and Onisa, coming in, and we agreed that it's actually taken everybody a little longer than we budgeted for. So that I think is non-negotiable because we already agreed it in a previous meeting. Right, so I'm going to go back up to the top and go from there. We've got a one-off thing for Andre to do a complete redesign of the meeting summary tool because although it's great, there's been lots of feedback and lots of things we've learnt, and it just feels like it might need even some additional budget in Q4. But yeah, we've put 500 against that because it's quite a big job and it's going to be much more extensive. I think there's going to be also, I mean, do you want to say anything about it, Andre, about what you've got in mind?
Yeah, we're gonna work with the community also a little bit. So I'm first gonna do like a little presentation and then see what people want to add or just bounce some ideas and then start from scratch and just try and make it a better tool. Like this first version is just a prototype. Now we've got an idea of what it needs to do and maybe add some extra features.
Andre, is that going to include tidying up the model as we discussed before? In terms of you were talking about moving it more to a more generic model of the
Yes, yeah. So that's why I need to design it from scratch, just so I can, because I did make some weird design decisions because of time. But now
so that
yeah.
so that together with the community liaison is 500 going to be enough for that? Because it does seem like quite a lot. So
Sorry, say again. We've got another budget line for the community liaison.
Oh right, okay.
You did see that, didn't you?
Not my screen isn't that big, so no, I missed that.
So yeah, I mean, it feels like it needs to be quite a chunky bit of budget. One of the things that I know we've discussed is the idea of multilingual approaches, because now we've got LATAM Guild who might be eventually wanting to document in Spanish, and we might want to look at how that might work. And yeah, just what Stephen and Andre were just saying, as people have got used to the tool, it actually feels like people are converging. The last, 4 templates that we've added, everyone's picked the same one, which is basically a narrative, some decisions, and some action items. So maybe everybody wants to move towards that, or maybe they don't, but we need to find out. So yeah.
Interesting. So I was just saying that's interesting. So.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah,
But, yeah,
fascinating. Yes.
So those are there, and with the community input one, I'm very much seeing this as something that people here could get involved in, going out to the community, collating feedback, going, how would you like it to look? What would you like it to do that it doesn't do? So I'm hoping that that budget could be, just looking at Anyuka in the chat, I don't. Yeah, so that's there. Writing the quarterly report, it's always 50. Educating documenters. Now, this is something that we wanted to try and do in this quarter, but we just haven't got time, and we're not going to be able to fund it until next quarter anyway. So it has emerged that some people would like a session or two on supporting new documenters, people who've come in the last few weeks and want to learn. And yeah, I know there's 3-4 people who've said they're interested. I tentatively said maybe it could be a collab with onboarding, but I don't think so. We went through the onboarding budget a couple of days ago, and I don't think there's any spare in there. So I think we could do this. And yeah, I thought maybe 2 sessions and maybe 2 people. So yeah, it would be nice to, I mean, I think Onyeka is probably a shoe-in for this because he knows the tool quite well, but I know there's other people here who have been working with it quite a lot. So yeah, that could be something. Do people think we need any more in there? Do we need more than 2 sessions? I feel like it's enough, but I don't know. Any thoughts?
Nika's in, yeah. So
There's
I
some
think it's
more in the
really
chat.
important work in a way, isn't it? Because it's like it's like transferring ownership of knowledge a little bit to the community.
Yeah, exactly.
So should it be a bit more? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe 400.
I mean, yeah, let's just, yeah, it
Yeah.
seems if it's 2 people, yeah. All right, cool. General archives publicity. Now, last time when we went through this, Onyeka and Ayo were both interested, and Onyeka, if I'm right, I think you were saying that you want to do the bit of it that is just like maintaining connections with people who come to meetings and like DMing them and reminding them that the meeting's on. Is that right? Oh, it's in the chat. Yes. All right. So, and Ayo, are you here? Yeah, you are, aren't you? Ayo? Oh, I think he's in the chat.
Okay. If you
Hang on
can't
then.
speak. I put
Hang
something
on.
in chat, sorry, there, but the
Okay. Right, that was you. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's waving, but I don't know if he can unmute. So what we need to do is just work out of this 230 who gets what.
And there was, I think, maybe not that much Twitter. Oh no, wait, what did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, that was outreach. No, sorry, I'm confused.
There we go. All right, so we had in this quarter it was 230 for both. So like, yeah, that's what I'm just doing now is separating the tasks. So we've got Onyeka's kind of comms with the group and keeping the group like aware of when meetings are and blah blah blah. And so I'm calling it intra work group communication. And then Twitter Right, so how are we gonna Io, have you got a suggestion on how much you want to do? Like, what would we say? Is it 2 tweets a month, maybe? Is that what
In resource.
No, I'm just listening in. I'm just okay. Yeah.
okay. Are you still interested in that? Just give us a thumbs up.
To say yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Nice one. All right, so maybe maybe because people are having connection problems in other meetings and stuff, maybe I'll just DM you both, and it might, I don't know, what's it going to be? We'll just need to work out the
Would it be
total.
yeah? Would it be similar to the one above, Vanny? Or...
Oh no, because that price was for the whole lot, so
all right,
it's going
all
to
right.
be a little bit less
Okay.
there and a little bit more there. So I'll just, unless anybody's got a suggestion on you, can you remember how much was for which? Or should we talk about? Yeah, we'll talk about it outside, shall we?
Yeah, we could talk about it after the meeting.
Okay. All right. Cool. Right, then we've got the I'm not even going to call this a bounty anymore because it's not really. It's minor updates of the Ambassador Gitbook, and that was Sucra's been working on that. We said that for Q3 we will ask the community to reassess if the Ambassador Gitbook is still useful. But I kind of think we're getting the impression that it is. I don't know, Peter,
Yeah.
are you still here? In the light of what you were just saying about the community website, do we feel that the Ambassador Gitbook still has a role?
That's a good point.
I would say it's especially in light of community managed content. It's a great thing. Because in a way, it's from the Gitbook. Then no, I'm not saying that's directly decentralization, but in a way, it is. I feel.
Yeah.
I suppose that's how the website could see it as well. The formal website can see it as a community experiment in a port in being in a portal. It's like a portal, isn't it? That comes from the community. So yeah, it's a different thing from the website, really, I suppose. Oh, is it snowing?
Yeah, basically.
Wow, what is that? That's mental.
So basically, the idea is to have one website where the community touching initiatives like deep funding, but decentralization efforts, where they're all under the same umbrella website. So yeah.
So it's different, isn't it? The ambassador's Gitbook. It's more about, if you like, I suppose it's the ambassador's portal, isn't it? Really, I suppose. Really, that's how I see it. But maybe, but also, go on.
I was just going to say, I wonder if what Sucra's doing is just like a fairly minimal update, like twice a quarter, just trying to get everybody's budgets and quarterly reports in, and then tweaking a few other things, like, for instance, there's been changes to the amount of funding that the overall program gets, so she's updating that and things like that. So do we think we need her to do any more?
I mean, I wouldn't.
She's not even here, so I can't commit her to
things.
I
wouldn't underestimate. It needs to be regular work. It may not be a lot of work, but it needs to be a regular check, doesn't it?
Yes,
that's mine. Yeah. So that is always more work than you think, if you know what I mean, because it requires you to regularly check, to be on call, if you like, to regularly check. So I'll just put that out there. So yeah. Because the most important thing about that Gitbook is that it's up to date. It's relevant, stuff
needs to be up to date. So yeah, should I have a quick chat with Sue? Is what you're doing covered? Because like we said last time, it is a lot of work chasing people down for their quarterly reports, and yeah, yeah, it's an issue. Yeah. All right. So I'll ask her, and I think if this goes up a little, it's not the end of the world.
No.
Right, mentoring bounty holders was something we had in a budget in Q1 because we took on a lot more bounty holders, but I don't really think there are any as such, and I think any mentorship or support that's needed would be folded into the task itself. So if everybody agrees, I'm gonna take that out. Oh, something in chat. Small note on quarterly reports, we are now having it as a part of the budget requests. Yeah, so it shouldn't need chasing. Yeah, that is true, actually. Although, just because we say it doesn't necessarily mean we don't have to chase.
Maybe we can help with that effort a little bit, please. You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when we had the issue on wider ecosystem outreach, and I said, oh yeah, there's something that I want to run past people when we get to the budget. I have noticed that NewNet are now having town halls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, do they want to document them? And should we be trying to do some outreach to them to see if they want to use the approach that we've got here? Have you got any sort of inside information on that, Peter?
As in, if they want that, I can't speak
Well,
for
no,
that.
just if you think it would be at all likely, or whether you know if they're documenting their town halls some other way.
Well, so far I haven't been able to attend even one of them. So honest answer, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in principle, should we just approach them, Peter? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
might be with it.
They're quite open, and yeah, I mean, can't speak for them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're very welcoming.
Yeah, and it's an open question. We wouldn't have to do it exactly the same way we're doing it here. Yeah, so is that what you're thinking, Vanny? But
yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking is that it might be a bit of a slow process because obviously, Andre, you've got a lot of work on and limited capacity. So if we went to them and said, oh, do you want this? And they went, oh, yes, please. It's going to be Q4 before we can actually give it to them.
Yes.
So that is a question.
Yeah, definitely no. I'm not going to be able to help immediately with that.
Yeah.
A small thing to note there is that I don't think their version of Town Hall is exactly the same as ours. First of all, it's only well, monthly at max, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really on intended mostly as a way of updating, also connecting with community, but it's not like the self-organizing work groups we're having. Just for a bit.
Yeah, it's more or less just a town hall. And finding out what they might need. What we could do also is set them up if they wanted to document with some kind of template approach to documenting, which they could keep outside of the tool. And then, like I did with Writers Work Group, when they had loads of them and I just uploaded them at a later stage, we could maybe look at that and, create something for them.
Yeah, it's like a diplomacy thing as well, isn't it? It's just like reaching out to see what we can offer them, or have a little conversation about it. Yeah,
it'd be nice. And I'm also thinking some of this work could be about budgeting for collaborating a little bit more with LATAM because I don't know, maybe I'm like being too ambitious on their behalf, but I'm sort of seeing them going eventually towards almost like a parallel ambassador program almost. They're trying to have separate work groups and all this. It would be interesting to try and see how they would want it to be documented, and whether there is stuff that we need to do about 2 languages.
right. On this one, I mentioned to you in conversation a while ago, Vanny, the possibility to make a Git book bilingual.
Yeah.
So we could do that, but there will be a cost associated that, for example? That's a kind of question we could ask. So maybe we could scope that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put some
It's like,
budget
do
for
we
scope.
want to? Do we want to commit ourselves to that, and for how long? Yeah.
I think it would need, when we've done it in the past, I think we did it in Catalyst, similar thing. And it required a dedicated resource because essentially you're duplicating the archive. You're having another person updating the archive.
Although, having said that, the archive sits on the ambassador's account, doesn't it? Which is a charity account. So there's not so many issues.
It's more the checking. I mean, it's not. I didn't phrase that very well. It would stay in the same place, but someone would be the person, the language administrator, for want of a word, the person who's checking that it's translating correctly and all that kind of thing.
All right, I don't want us to spend too long on this. We're sort of talking around it a lot, but I wondered if anybody's got any thoughts on. I mean, I've put in a notional 200, and I'm sort of seeing it as something that a couple of us could do and could go and chat to people and try and plan with them. Does that seem like enough, too much, not enough?
Yeah, it depends, doesn't it, what comes out of it. So I think for scoping, it's fine, but for
yeah, we can always kind of jiggle budget to a certain extent. There's always things you don't spend and things you need to spend that you didn't know. So yeah. Right, now the open source docs management stuff that Andre is working on, this is just a continuation from Q2. It's separate from the core development work and from the meeting summary tool design. So people are starting to see that Andre has a lot of work on this quarter. Yeah. Does it still feel all right, Andre? It's not too much work.
Yeah. This is I've already done a lot of work on this, so it's getting close to completion.
Yeah.
This document management thing.
Cool. Oh, Nika's got a hand up. Go for it.
All right. I wanted to drop in this suggestion before I hop off. So I know there was actually a discussion on creating a column section, sorry, a comment section in the summary tool.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think instead of we exporting our summary as PDF, we could actually do that with we could create an archive Google account where we directly export the summary as a document. So because the Google document actually has the column for comments instead of we exporting it as a PDF. What do you guys think?
I mean, we have already got an archives Google account, and what we're using it mainly for is this open source docs management process. So I don't know if it clashes with that, and I also don't know, would it be better to have it integrated into the tool? Andre?
We can, yeah, that's going to be part of the community input. So we can that Google account. There's already folder structure going on there. So if we do something like this, exporting to a Google Doc, there'll be a specific folder for that. So we can do it like that.
Is this sufficient budget? Is it sufficient budget? Is it sufficient budget for doing education and outreach about the tool, Andre, or we're not going to do that in this quarter, do you think? Because you said you're coming next quarter, quarter 4. Okay.
Sorry, quarter 3. There is that community input. So this is the what Onyeka brought up now. That's the kind of stuff we will discuss in that.
And that's enough to cover it.
It's about the difference between in and out, I think. We've got community input, but until it's built, we're not going to be sharing it and educating the community about it. So
so that educating is later.
Right, so that'd be the more like when everything's built and then we have to communicate the tool, because that'd be quite a big task in a way. It's mostly, it could be like documentation and presentations or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's more quarter 4, let's say.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They're thinking so far ahead. My God.
Right, annual budgets, that's what we need. All right, so then the RAG retrieval process itself, which is, you know, the kind of, it's ongoing from Q2. This is different from your development issue. This is a different process from the actual RAG development, which is up here.
Yeah. This is
documentation of the process and proof of concept.
Yeah. To put context here, so the RAG development is literally writing code to interface with to do proof of concepts on Colab notebooks using Python. So that's basically taking each step of the process and writing code. That's the development issues, as you say. The process is research, which I'm currently doing in order to take a RAG retrieval process and to explain that to our community, which is not as easy as it sounds, because it's and also to kind of tailor it to our community as well. So, for example, I won't spend too much on this, but what is a RAG process? Why should we use it? What elements are going to be in it for things like safeguarding, the AI ethics element of it, all that kind of thing. So that needs to be, that's the work in progress. Is that enough explanation, Fanny?
Yeah, I think so, unless anyone's got any questions. But it feels like this is part of our focus. And so we've already said the development of the RAG retrieval process is a focus. But I think this documentation and kind of tailoring, if you like, is another focus. So I think it should go in
they kind of go in parallel, because
yes, exactly.
Because when I do some development, I find some issue that comes up and I think, I have to put that into the overall process. So that's the way it works. And it's related to, I think there's it was asking the question in chat about the one below, the
well, let's come on to that. I mean, as we've said a couple of times now, we're not really going to be at a stage where we can get the community involved with doing this, you know, sort of prompt engineering and trying to play with it. So I've put it in here so that people can see that it is something we want to look at for Q4. Initially, this was about working with the Panama material, and it looks like that's probably not something that's going to happen. But actually, this is going to be related to the RAG retrieval process that Stephen's developing. So this budget line is going to be about how to query archives data, and it's about engaging the community with that. So prompt design, analysing and understanding the results that come back and reporting on how well the RAG retrieval process is actually working. So when there's some education, there's some incentives for the community to get involved, but it's going to have to be in Q4 because there's no way we're going to be in a position to.
I have to apologise because there's a kind of capacity issue there. So if Ubio and me are the kind of bottlenecks, because we need to do development work first before we can produce content that people can analyze. So we're not, it's like a cart and horse situation. And to be brutally honest, it's a capacity issue. So I'm not going to be able to do that this quarter. So what I am aiming to do this quarter is the development work and the process work. So
well, I think it's all clear. All right. Right. Apparently somebody was trying to get into the meeting and couldn't. Right. I didn't see anybody trying to get in. So Onyeka, if you've gone, haven't you? It's nearly the end of the meeting anyway. Maybe we can catch her up asynchronously. All right. So that's that. We had in previous budgets bounties for people to do tasks that involve using the archives. And I don't know if, I think that's not really going to be our focus, unless anyone thinks we should keep it in. Speak now. We did things like getting people to create monthly summaries based on looking at the archive. It felt like it was fun, but we're kind of getting a bit more serious now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
if there's nothing, yeah, we probably should, because there are some quite substantive tasks elsewhere, isn't there now?
I mean, if in the next few days somebody has an amazing idea for something that is like that, then do what we talked about before and put it either in the Discord or in the meeting issue. Right, now bounties for good summaries, which is like what people have been working on now. You know, that TiVo won last time, and then do we want to continue that? It seems to be quite an interesting way to engage people with improving their meeting summaries, but I don't know whether we want to carry it on for the whole Q3. Any thoughts?
Clement says it's important.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right. So,
Yeah.
do we think the budget is fine? I mean, I will actually, yeah, thinking about it, the budget we had for it, I don't think covered the entire quarter, so it might need to go up a little bit, but
Okay.
I'll check. And if we just budget it for the same as the previous instance.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Clement. Anything, partly because it incentivizes involvement and also incentivizes quality potentially as well.
Mhm.
So I think that's really, I agree with Clement. I think that's really important. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have a tweak. I think what it is there's gonna, if we do it for the whole quarter, there'll be more than 6 winners. So that's gonna go. I'll calculate it out to what it needs to go up to. Right. Now the AI ethics policy. This is. Oh, yeah. Go for it, Clement.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I wanted to say that apart from the fact that in incentivizes quality, like Steven said, but then I mean people get to learn a lot of stuff. There are people who wrote summaries, but didn't really have the complete knowledge that they had to include certain things, right? So as we were able to bring out the adjustment criteria for which summaries had the best, so people were able to learn that they have to include certain stuffs in their meeting summaries. So for me, it should be continued because of it's got some knowledge sharing positives around it. So it's just important we go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you have just reminded me by exactly saying that we need to probably, do you remember I was saying, oh, we forgot to budget for actually publicizing it? Because it only has that effect if we publicize it and why people won and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like
yeah, sure. I agree with that, Bunny. Sure.
All right, so I will have a look at it and I'll add a little bit for actually sharing the insights and make it so that there is going to be more than 6 winners if it's over an entire quarter. So, all right. Cheers. It's good to know that people think it's worthwhile. All right. Yeah. AI ethics policy. Right now, I'm robbing an idea here from how onboarding workgroup does it. Generally we will have a doc and we pay people a little bit for contributing to it. It's not like per contribution, it's just a flat rate of something like a tenner for anyone who contributes. Now already there's a load of people in there. I'm going to exclude myself because I started the damn thing, but I can see there's a few people like Colleen and so on in there. And I'm sure that now we've shared it, there's going to be a few more people making comments. So I would like to reward people for bothering to go in, read it, think about it, and comment. The other thing then is that it'd be nice to have a core team of like 3 people maybe to look at the comments, look at the text, and sit down and draft something. Does that sound like something that would be good to do? Seeing things in the chat. I'm one of the most to have digested information the most. Yeah. We got that already. The team. No, I don't think we have actually. I think we would set the team when we know that our budget has been approved. But oh no, God, no, you're right. Sorry, duh. Yes, we have got a list of people, haven't we? Let me go back and find out how many people it was.
Is it a prospective list?
No, there is, and I'm just looking for the actual issue. ethics policy for the archives. There we go. And I think it was more than 3 people. So Jenny, Io, Clement, Gorga, Onise, and Ekamini. 1,
Right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So yeah, we probably need to make that a little bit higher then if we're including 6 people.
Was a kind of
Yes, you did.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and Gorga as well. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this should, if we're
600
gonna, yeah.
or maybe some leeway, 800. Not sure.
Ooh, that's probably a little bit much.
No,
But
sorry, I forgot. It was yeah, it's just it's not. It's a document, isn't it? So 600 should be sufficient, shouldn't it, really?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, maybe I don't think, you know, I'll look at it and just see if that covers it. The open source policy, documentation, etc. That's kind of a similar approach, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know. This was that from me originally. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is. I mean, I'm kind of. It was more of a contingency because it's a bit like the high level policy of the archive, if you like. So it's like, why are we open source? Okay, and what does that mean? So maybe 400 just to get it started. But you're right, Vanny. If we can engage people with that issue, because we can then get an understanding of what open source is and why we do things in certain ways, you know, that kind of thing. So so maybe it's open source policy and community ideation or whatever.
I've put it as open source policy and culture because it feels like it's about trying to build an open source culture, kind of by you know, what would you call it, demonstrating it.
The idea it would act as a kind of framing to the archive's values, if you like, and policy. So we say like why we use open source tools, how we use them, why, all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's like a level above the RAG process, if you like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This might need a little more fleshing out. I've just got it
absolutely.
as documentation, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to actually explain what that is. Oh, Jenny is saying I'm also interested to delve deeper into open source culture. Yeah, well,
absolutely.
that's good to know. And I think there needs to, I wonder if we need to think about how we, you know, who is going to be involved with this and how we make sure that they all get a bit of rewarding for their input. So yeah.
It's similar to the AI ethics policy, but it just needs a tight framing somehow. It's not going to be as may not be as expansive as AI ethics.
Yeah, probably.
Because open source policy is, well, we define a policy, and there's only a certain amount you can talk about, really. I suppose it's like whereas AI ethics is more broad, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing a couple of people in the chat, Jenny, Onise, and Martin, who are saying that they are potentially interested in that. I don't think we haven't got an issue for it on the board yet. It's going to depend on whether the budget gets approved when it is.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure that there's enough in there. So maybe that budget line needs to go up a little. I don't know. So our total is coming in at just over 10K. So that feels all right for the amount of work we're going to do. There could be a little bit more in here if people have ideas. There could be a little bit more in here. There's going to be a little bit more in here. So yeah, I feel like that is okay. So yeah. Maybe, I don't think there's anywhere we can cut things back, but maybe there is. But is everybody in principle okay with this budget? And oh, Clement, is that a legacy hand, or have you got your hand up? Sorry, because if you have, you've been waiting for ages. I'm sorry. Oh,
sorry, it's an error. Sorry.
Oh,
okay.
gosh. I thought you'd been waiting to speak for like half an hour.
I mean, I think it's all pretty ambitious, really.
Yeah, it is a lot.
I mean, I think that's what we're learning here is, I mean, we have delivered on a lot of stuff in the past year, but also as I'm learning from the RAG process, you're probably learning from tool development, Andre, and our workload, is that we need to be more realistic about what we can do, I suppose. And we can't always deliver things straight away, and also the time scales, but I think it's a great reflection of the work that people do, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm just noting in the chat, Peter saying, happy with the budget, just adding a general note that there might be budget fitting due to token price, which, yeah, it's good to be aware of.
Right.
What we've done in other quarters where that has happened is that we've kind of then gone and prioritized and said, okay, we'll move such and such to Q4. So that kind of dovetails with what you're saying about capacity. Maybe it could be a blessing in disguise in some cases where we just go, right, that is something that we probably won't get to this quarter, or that we can not get to this quarter. We can push
and
it.
I suppose that goes into our quarterly report a little bit, because the quarterly report will say, well, why haven't we done things that we said we could? In a way, I don't want to put it like that. I mean, it's an iterative process, isn't it? Because you do a budget, you try and do some work, and then you find that there's only a certain capacity, or you come across issues, and that's the whole point of it as well, I suppose.
And I feel like, I know this better than anybody, because there's issues that are from Q1 that are still on the board. And, it's basically because sometimes you've got a plan for something and it dovetails with something else, and you don't want to do the work twice. And I think every work group finds this, and I think there's got to be a little bit of flexibility in time. Obviously we can't drag it out forever, but it feels like if budget is secured to do a piece of work, we're all in here working really, really hard for not that much money. And it's fine, it's great, but sometimes you have to prioritize other earning opportunities, or you have to prioritize your actual life or whatever. So if things don't get done as soon as we said they would get done, I think personally, I believe it's okay.
Yeah.
As long as
I think
does
that's what I think your inclusion of the strategic sections is very useful, Vanny, because that puts it very crystallizes, like in a three or four sentences, it shows what kind of we learned, where our emphasis should be going forward. Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
All right, shall I stop recording?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Because we're a minute over.
Oh my God. Not bad, actually.